So here we are watching Pastor Joe, and he's doing a sermon on Shabbat, and talking about what's work on a Saturday, and part of it is making a stranger work, and the first example was coming to your house and making a stranger work. That's a no-go. That's obvious. Then it's like, well, if you go out to a restaurant, you're making someone work, and we agree, but still it's like, well, one argument is well, it's America, no one does it that way, so those people are going to be working anyway. But the counter argument, I guess, is, well, if no one went out on Shabbat, the companies wouldn't make them work. So basically, you're not supposed to make someone else work. But the question then comes up, well, you're supposed to do something that's pleasurable. Well, let's say you want to go out sledding at the hill, the mountain, on Shabbat, because that's pleasurable.
Or go to like a synagogue.
Well, hang on. And, well, yeah, exactly. Or go to the synagogue to fellowship like you're supposed to, I guess, on Saturday, Shabbat, and your truck breaks down. Are you just supposed to leave it there and then walk until you can call a tow truck on Sunday?
What if it's like hours away, though?
Right. What if you're stranded? Like, and you could die. Freezing, you know, it's like, right. She just, so, because, you know, back in the day when Jesus walked through the fields with his disciples, they didn't have to worry about breaking down and calling a tow truck. So they were out of their tents, or they were out. So you're just not supposed to leave the house, or unless on a bicycle, or because what if your car breaks down? You just leave it. That doesn't sound wise, right? If you break down on certain roads, they'll tow that shit on you.
There's gotta be certain. That's an emergency, though. That's a life thing. So.
But what if the Lord says, "Well, you shouldn't. Your ass should have been out."
Police officers are allowed to work. Nurses are like. There's certain people that are allowed to work to save
maybe.
lives.
Well, to save a life, yes. That's another thing, I guess, right? Sure, yeah, save a life.
Yeah. Because he healed, would you not?
So that's the question.
So I'm
if you drive somewhere in Shabbat,
to go like
and your car breaks down,
the synagogue, and it's
but you got to worry about the truck breaking, or the car, and
it's a life-threatening emergency, and you can't be out in the winter. Then that's different.
So there you go. Do you make someone else work? Well, you know what I'm wondering if some people would just answer, well, intent maybe if you don't intend for your vehicle to break down, so that's kind of okay, but technically someone else still has to work.
Well, and if you're going to like fellowship, sometimes like I think
so if you're driving to the synagogue, okay, but you're driving to go smoke crack cocaine,
Jesus worked on the Sabbath by healing,
but he wasn't making someone else work; he was healing somebody. That's like saving a life.
Like nurses go and they save lives.
Yeah. No.
Police officers tow people have to save people's lives sometimes, you know. Like,
well, not necessarily.
Like if you're going out in the cold to go worship at the place with everybody.
Okay, so we can't leave when it's potentially life-threatening weather. So we can only take the chance to drive when it's nice out. That's where you have to land on logically.
No,
then
I wouldn't do. I mean, I don't know if I would. Because what if it's like all winter, you know, because winter's going to be harsh, so you would just not go to a synagogue? I still think that's...
Maybe we're just being obtuse and the answer's obvious.
Yeah, I don't, you just always have to be careful, because sometimes you get...
Well, no, you got to be careful, because sometimes things that are obvious, you look at the Bible, and it's like...
If you're intending to go fellowship, I think that's different.
Well, but that's the problem. Sometimes the Lord is like... It's obvious, and you read the Bible, and it's obvious, but then sometimes you think, well, he wouldn't want us to do that, and then you look, and he's like, I'll kill the fuck out of you if you do that, and it's like, oh.
Well, I think if you're going to worship, it's different, but...
Okay, well, you know what we need to do is ride our donkey. We need to get a donkey. The donkey won't break down, and we'll ride the donkey.
Maybe it's just all relative to generations, too, like, or the type of society, you know what I mean?
It's possible, or it could just be wishful thinking.
I don't know. Obviously, Jesus went to synagogues.
Well, but if his F-150...
You're obviously allowed to leave your house.
Do you think his F-150 broke down when he called a tow truck driver?
That's what I'm saying. There's just sometimes the world has progressed, you know what I mean?
So that's our dilemma, our dilemma du jour. So if anybody has any input... And I know it's kind of pedantic, but still, it's a legitimate question, so... Puppy dog!
Yeah.
try to keep her up late so she doesn't get up at like 4 in the morning and want to play. All right, peace out, yo.